You once again stepped into the world of survival horror. Good luck. Alright, so welcome back to Resident Evil 2. In this video we are going to progress through this wacky little police station that we find ourselves in. We're searching for our brother, we're looking for Chris. No, he's probably not here. If I had to guess, he's not here, because he's not in the game. One thing that I will give to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, a game that I do not like, is that at least you can manually walk up stairs in that game. Some stairs, not all stairs, so it's not everything yet. I think Code Veronica has like all the stairs you can interact with, but I don't remember. I haven't played that in a while. In Resident Evil 3, you can actually just walk up a set of stairs like normal. You don't have to press A to go up them and start an animation, like in the first game and in this one. So that is exactly 1 point to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I think Dino Crisis, you can also just go upstairs. Then again, there's not a whole lot of stairs in that game, if I remember correctly. Resident Evil 2, out of the, like, PS1 games, is probably the one that I know the most, and it's the one that I've played the most. But again, not my favorite. I think I was starting to say this last time, but I didn't actually say it. My favorite classic Resident Evil game, and it should be no surprise to anyone because I always have weird takes on Resident Evil games, and I always find myself gravitating towards the one that no one else likes. Like, my favorite Resident Evil game, just in general, is 5. But my favorite classic game is Code Veronica. And again, not a popular opinion. Most people go for this one or 3, but Code Veronica's where it's at, man. That game just speaks to me. So here we have the grenade launcher, which is very nice. We get it very early on in the game. And also, this, I got confused, because I was like, yeah, there's a first aid spray in Rebecca's bag. But no, that's just in the remake. I've played the remake so many times now, and I haven't really gone back to this since the remake, that I was like, yeah, Rebecca's got something in there, right? So here we have Chris's diary, which is much stranger in the remake. It's like a coded message in the remake. But I know so many people that have played that game. Like, I've watched a lot of playthroughs of people playing Resident Evil 2 Remake for the first time, and when they read that note, they're like, wow, why is Chris such an asshole? Like, why is he writing like this? Like, they just don't get that it's a coded message, so maybe they shouldn't have written it like that. I don't know, that's just me. It makes Chris seem like a giant weirdo. Here's the classic stars picture. Absolutely classic photo. We're going to take a look in Wesker's desk. We're going to keep taking a look in Wesker's desk, actually. We're going to check this desk 51 times. I believe the number's 51 times. If you check his desk a certain amount of times, I'm pretty sure it's 51. You get a little secret. You get a little tiny little morsel. Something interesting is in this desk for us. It's trash. Someone must have searched the desk. It's trash. Someone must have searched the desk. It's trash. Someone must have searched the desk. Yeah, someone must have searched the desk. It's us, Claire. We're doing it. I do like how they had a nod to this in Resident Evil 2 Remake. Only, you only have to check his desk once. You do still have to do, like, a couple other steps to search his desk. But I would have liked it if you had to search his desk, you know, that amount of times. Zoomers playing this game for the first time be like, what's this thing? I think the pace of this game is probably better than the remake. Like, I love the remake. Again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm dissing the remake when I say that this game is better than the remake. I just think that there are certain problems that the remake has that I think just a few, like, just retool the game a little bit would have fixed. I think the pacing in this game is much better. You don't spend too much time in any particular location. Like, Resident Evil 2 Remake, the only part of that game that I genuinely dislike is the sewers. The sewers is so boring, it's so dark, and you basically don't do anything too interesting in the sewers. So, not my favorite part of the game. In this game, the sewers are like, boop, you're done. And there's great music in the sewers in this game. It doesn't last very long, and you do cool stuff in it. Let's go ahead and develop the film that we found in Wesker's desk. Wesker, what the hell, man? What are you doing? Why do you have this picture of Rebecca? What are you doing, man? Yeah, that's weird. But the story is also a thing in Resident Evil 2 Remake that I would say is a definitive step down. Like, Leon A, Claire B feels completely different from Claire A, Leon B. There are so many little different things. There aren't any, even between Claire A and Leon B. There are clear differences. There are Claire differences between the two playthroughs. You don't... I'm trying to think. I'm fairly certain you don't even once fight the same boss twice. Whereas in 2 Remake, you know, you fight Birkin as Leon, and then you fight Birkin as Leon, or as Claire in the exact same location, with the exact same story beat happening. Whereas in this game, they make sure that that's not the case. In this game, that equivalent scene, Claire fights one enemy, Leon doesn't even go to that area. You know, it's done much better. And just a few retoolings would have fixed that issue, I think, quite well, and it would have made the remake at least on par. Because the remake had, you know, gorgeous visuals. It controls like a dream. The voice acting's great. The cutscenes are great. If they just fixed a few things, it would be probably better than the original. But now that the honeymoon phase is over, I think I can safely say, you know, in revisiting this game for the first time since, I can safely say that the original still holds up and is probably slightly better than the remake. It's not like a huge jump, but I just think that this game is still a little bit better. It's like by a hair. I think I would still rather play the remake, but this is the better version as it stands. And you could pause and read these if you want. You know, I don't like to just sit here and read these. But you can if you want to know the lore. The only thing we're really getting in here is a first aid spray. But I think it's worth it, honestly. Like, you don't ever have to go in this room, I think, in either story. Oh no, what? Maybe it's a first aid spray in Leon's story. But yeah, it's a crank here, so never mind. You do actually have to go in here. Yeah, so I think it's a first aid spray in Leon's story. That's the one I've played the most recently. So that's what I had in my brain there. I'm spreading misinformation, sorry. I also feel like the timelines of each story lines up a little bit better in this version than in the remake. Like, you can conceivably see, like, Okay, from Leon's story, this is when this happens in Claire's. That makes sense. You know, this happens, that happens. Everything lines up, I think, just a little bit better. Whereas there's some suspension that you have to do in the remake to go, alright, we just went through here as Claire and Leon. So what's going on here? But I'm going to stop talking about that. I'm not here to compare the two games. I'm sure there are 1,000 other videos like that online that compare both games. We're just here to enjoy the greatness that is the original Resident Evil 2. Enemy variety. Oh, speaking of enemies, this guy is like the only guy that I don't kill. He is incredibly easy to dodge. Enemy variety is like a big thing in this game, much better than it was in Resident Evil 1.
Leon!
Claire, you made it!
Yeah. Have you seen a little girl around here?
Yeah, you just missed her. Who is she?
I don't know. But it's too dangerous for her to stay here alone. Leon, I'll go look for her. You go and find us a way out of here.
Of course. But before I forget, here's a radio. That way we can keep in touch if something comes up.
I haven't talked about it yet, but almost every single aspect of the presentation of this game is far superior to Resident Evil 1. The voice acting is 1,000 times better. It's still not like award-winning acting, but it is a significant step up. Like, these are actually professional voice actors that are in this game. And the cutscenes themselves look so much more interesting than in the first game. The first game, it was just like wide shots, wide static shots of characters moving their arms up and down. This, you know, the camera gets in close, there's different angles, the acting's actually on point, so every single aspect of the presentation is 1,000 times better in this game, which is very, very nice. And I haven't talked about it yet, but Claire Redfield, voiced, of course, by the legendary Allison Court. Just the absolute best. I mean, it's hard to say that she's not the best Claire Redfield. Her voice is iconic. She's like one of the 2 voice actors in the series that got replaced that I feel the worst about. You know, Allison Court got replaced. I think the first game that she wasn't in was Revelations 2, which is a bummer. But I do like Stephanie Penicello in the remake. I think she does a very good job of like the youthful Claire. And I haven't watched Infinite Darkness yet, but I'm sure she's fine in that too. So I like her. She's definitely the second best Claire. It's just Allison Court was the best. She was the GOAT. And the other character that I'm the most bummed about their voice actor changing is Claire's brother, Chris. I really miss Roger Craig Smith. And again, I like Jeff Shine as Chris. I like his portrayal in 8 a lot. But man, I sure do miss Roger Craig Smith. At least it's not still the guy from 7. I'm Redfield. No, you're not. Shut up. You don't look like him, you don't sound like him. Shut your mouth. Again, I felt like that there was a safe in this room that you could unlock. No, that's the remake. You just get your wires crossed a lot. That happened to me when I was playing Resident Evil 1 as well, where I was just thinking of the remake because it's the version I've played the most. But at this point in time, I think I've played the original Resident Evil 2 and the remake about the same. But that's going to go ahead and do it for the second part of Resident Evil 2. So I will see you next time, and I hope you are enjoying this series.